Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Ignite. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Nasos Kladakis. I'm the Product Marketing Manager of Azure Active Directory, and I'm here with Alex Simons, who is the lead of our engineering team. So everything you will see today is built by his team. You know who to blame now. Okay? I wanted to start by making a few statements before we go to the actual presentation. And what I will say now is my own opinion. So Alex doesn't necessarily agree or knows what I'm going to say. Okay? So first of all, let me say something about the people that are at the back. Guys, you choose that, right? So I suggest to come closer. If I see any comment about how small the letters were at the demo, I will find you. Okay? So come closer, please. We have plenty of seats. Come closer. We love you. Okay? Now, let's go after the logistics. Who is a returning customer here? Who is a returning customer after last year's Ignite? Okay? And who have been in this presentation, the Azure Active Directory overview presentation last year? Okay, I can use the same jokes pretty much. So I want to start by saying something I said last year, and I would say that even if all of you were here last year. I made a statement that you liked last year. I don't know why you liked it, but still. I said that something is wrong with you people. Something is really wrong with you. And let me explain why. Because you are in a business that no one likes you. Do you understand that? No one likes you. And let me explain that. Last year we said too many cyber attacks, shadow IT, low budget. And still, this year, things are even worse. 300% plus attacks. 100 million attacks every day. And still you are coming back and you keep doing the same job. Something is really wrong with you. No one likes you. The bad guys want to make you cry. They want to hack your systems. And this is their job, I understand them. But even your users don't like you. They prefer to use all kinds of crazy SaaS applications, but the ones that you provide to them. So something is really wrong with you, but in this session, you have a friend. I'm with you, guys. Right? We really like you, guys. We are here for you, and I'm telling you, this is the first time we're going to announce so many things in one session. It's the first time we're going to demo so many new things. Never before in the Azure Active Directory history, we have announced so many new things in one session. So please stay with us. And with that, Alex.
Shall we get going?
Yeah.
Thanks, Nasos. Hey, so if you went to Julia's session yesterday on the modern security, you saw Joy, our VP, talk about the role of identity and how it's changing and becoming more important. And how as we move to a world that's essentially perimeterless, where your DMZ and your firewall don't really represent your security boundary anymore, that identity plays this increasingly important role as the control plane that lets you control who can get to which resource on what device at what time, and make sure that you're compliant and secure and you don't become the next big leak, the next Equifax or Target or something like that. And identity is the core technology, and the open standards that the identity community has built over the last 10 years really enable us to build this kind of system and let you take advantage of the opportunities that all these new devices and clouds and identities offer while being able to sleep at night. And I thought I'd spend a little bit of time just reminding everybody, look, if you don't have Azure Active Directory today, right, or if you do even, let's talk about just the basics. So Azure AD is a cloud identity service. It synchronizes, well, first of all, you could just use it in the cloud only. Some of you probably just use it as a cloud-only service. But the vast majority of customers are synchronizing it with their on-premise Active Directory using Azure AD Connect. Right? And this lets you take and have the same sets of identities you have on-premise that you have up in the cloud, and then using a variety of different authentication methods, people can sign in and get access to their on-premise apps, as well as all of the cloud apps, both Microsoft and third-party cloud apps like Salesforce and Box and things like that, using any kind of device. Right? So let's say, the one I think of as kind of the canonical device is the CEO is in Starbucks with their iPad and needs to get to the sales report. Can you enable them to do that or not, right? And that's what Azure Active Directory is about. And then increasingly, people are using Azure AD now to reach out and collaborate with their customers and partners. So how do you invite your partners in a seamless way so that they can get to the same sets of documents and slides and applications that you make available to your employees? And then how do you present a really great, highly branded customer experience so that your end customers can come in and really have a direct relationship with you? And that's how we think about Azure AD and identity as the control plane, is giving you this capability in the cloud to have a hub where you can express all of your compliance and security rules and let all of these different people and identities interact with each other. How's it doing? We can confidently say this is now the largest single enterprise cloud identity service in the world by a long shot, probably 10x bigger than everybody else. There are 10.8 million organizations now using the directory. They manage about 950 million identities in that directory. But the thing I'm the proudest of is the number of third-party apps now that use the directory as well. Right? So a year ago, we really were the directory for Microsoft services. Like you logged into Office 365 and Azure, or maybe you had Dynamics CRM or something like that. Today, there are 272,000 applications, at least in the month of August. There were 272,000 non-Microsoft applications that were integrated with the directory and authenticated a user to the directory. Right? So now we've really become much more of a directory and an IAM solution for the cloud, not just for Microsoft stuff. And that's one of our big visions, like I was saying, is to make sure that we don't want to be just your control plane for Microsoft things. We want to give you the ability to harness the whole cloud in all these devices. We have 56,000 customers who are now using Azure AD Premium or some part of the EMS suite and paying to use that and some of the premium features there. And more than 90% of the Fortune 500 now use Azure AD in some manner or another. Right? So it really has taken off and almost become like the default enterprise directory for the web. And for those of you who use it, thank you so much for betting on us. We really appreciate it. And we hope you'll work with us to continue to expand your usage of it and help us learn how we can make it better for you. Now, the service over time has also gotten tremendously rich. There are tons and tons of modules, new capabilities coming all the time. In fact, we update the service. In a lot of cases, 3 or 4 times a week, we turn on new capabilities and new modules. If you follow the blog or you follow me on Twitter, you know that this is just a continual train where new things are coming all the time. So we could spend hours and hours walking you through all the damn modules and what they do individually. But what Nasos and I thought would be more useful would be to walk you through the 6 major use cases that people use Azure Active Directory for, talk to you about some of the new news in each of those use cases, and kind of explain which modules you use for those, rather than just going through like module fest, because that wouldn't be useful and would take a long time. So we've organized the presentation to walk through these 6 major use cases and kind of tell you about the things in them, how people use them, which customers are doing what with them, and what the new news and interesting things going on are. So I'm going to hand over to Nasos, and he's going to take care of the first couple of these.
Thank you, Alex. So yes, we are going to do use cases, because if we go through every little feature of Azure Active Directory, we need something like 3 hours, obviously. So I could also let Alex do everything. But you know what? You need marketing in this presentation. And you know why, right? Because unlike engineering, marketing is not overpromising, right? So we need that balance here. OK. So let's start with the first use case. The first use case is actually what Azure Active Directory was meant to be. Well, this is the main use of Azure Active Directory. You get a service like that because you want your users to have easy access and secure access to every application they like, in the cloud and on premises. Alex told you about the architecture. We synchronize on-premises identities to the cloud, and from there, we can take you to all the applications you want. And at the same time, we can provide secure remote access to applications that live inside your perimeter. So this is the main use case. If you don't want to do that, most probably you don't need a solution like that. But I'm pretty sure this is the core scenario that is in every mind here. Providing secure, easy access to every application for your users. How we do that? We give you all the tools that you need to bridge your on-premises identities to the cloud we call that tool Azure Active Directory Connect. It lets you synchronize all the identities and the attributes of these identities that you want to the cloud. And from there, Azure Active Directory takes the lead and synchronizes and provisions and provide access to any cloud application that is out there. And of course, as I said, secure remote access to on-premises applications. And when we say synchronizing has two parts. Of course, the one part is to synchronize the identities to the cloud, so Azure Active Directory has the users that you want to be in the cloud so they can access applications. But also, something that we take care, of course, is authentication of these users. So if the user is cloud only, authentication is rather simple, right? They authenticate directly against Azure Active Directory, and things are really easy. But when the users are hybrid, meaning that they're actually users that start their lives from on-premises and they were synchronized in the cloud, and their user account lives on-premises too, we offer you options. And until now, we offered two major options for authentication. The one was the well-known Active Directory Federation services, of course. Really, I mean, I know many of you have a love and hate relationship with this service, but I'm telling you that the vast majority of you are using ADFS and other federation providers. And the second solution was password sync. Password sync, it's really easy to implement, really secure, but many of you really still believe that you can do a better job protecting your passwords than us. OK, I can accept that for now. But that was a blocker for many of you. You said, ADFS, we love it, but it's sometimes really hard to use. And at the same time, password sync, although it's super simple, I have to synchronize my password to the cloud. So we solved that problem, and today I'm really proud to announce that we provide in general availability the third option, which is pass-through authentication. Yes, yes, you can do that. Every time I'm saying something amazing, feel free to clap, OK? After I say that, not before, after. So pass-through authentication is the third option. We make it generally available today. And with that, you can keep your passwords on premises. And with a lightweight agent that you need to install on your domain controllers, every time that someone tries to authenticate against Azure AD, and we see that pass-through authentication installed, we pass that request to on-premise directories. So the benefits of ADFS, or to say most of the benefits of ADFS, in a really simple way. And on top of that, we have enabled, and we also make generally available today, the ability to provide seamless single sign-on with pass-through authentication. Because one of the huge benefits of ADFS was that if you logged into your device, to your Windows device, for example, that was domain joined, you will be never prompted again to provide a password. Your password will be there in your device and will be used every time you were going to an ADFS, an Azure Active Directory integrated service. But with the other options, that wasn't the case. Today, with the combination of pass-through authentication and seamless SSO general availability, this is the case even for pass-through authentication. And you know what? It's even the case with password sync. So if you really trust us after all these years, after 5 years that we are here, if you really trust us and you choose to avoid any on-premises storage of passwords, or you are OK with synchronizing your passwords to the cloud, even password sync provides seamless single sign-on today. So you log in once in your device, and then you won't be prompted again for your passwords, for your Windows device joined device, for your domain joined devices. Good? Great? Thank you. So that was the first announcement of the day. And with that, you can connect and authenticate to all the applications. But let me tell you about those applications. Alex already told you about this huge number, right? This number grows really fast and really big. 272,000 applications, third-party applications, are integrated with Azure Active Directory. This is phenomenal, and it goes up really fast. At first, we were monitoring that every 3 months. Now, every month, we check the number of the applications. That goes really, really high. My favorite customer, besides Microsoft, of course, that has too many, has more than 1,500 applications. I don't know what these guys are doing, but they have 1,500 applications on their directory. The other thing, though, I want you to see is that from these third-party applications, these are the most popular ones. And let me clear something, right? Because you take pictures and you don't get the context of what I'm saying. These are third-party applications. If I had to put Office 365 up there, it will go around the building, right? The blue line will go around the building. So yes, definitely, Office 365 is the highest, I mean, it has the highest usage with Azure Active Directory. But from the third-party applications, these names that I don't want to repeat all of them, they're up there. And so how Azure Active Directory is the control plane, is the gate to all kinds of applications, okay? So now, we said about cloud applications and hundreds of thousands of them that we support. Let's go to the on-premises applications. We have a great feature, a great capability that we call Azure Active Directory Application Proxy. With Application Proxy, you can publish on-premises web applications to the cloud and protect them with Azure Active Directory. And that way, your mobile users, your guests, your users that are outside of the corporate network can access securely these applications that you have on premises or another, let's say, on virtual machines on Amazon or Azure. Application Proxy was a really successful service, but we realized really quickly that web services are a different beast, or a beast that is not easy to be beaten. Many of you are using super custom web applications when it comes to authentication. Cookie-based, header-based authentication, super custom. So our own application proxy, on its own, it couldn't it couldn't support all kinds of web applications. That's why last year, in this event, we announced the partnership with our great partners from Ping Identity. And Ping Identity has developed Ping Access for Azure Active Directory in collaboration with our engineering team. And with this add-on that you get with Azure Active Directory Premium and Basic, you are able to access even more on-premises applications. So if you have a super custom application on premises, header-based, cookie-based authentication, or I don't know how difficult authentication is in this application, with Application Proxy and the addition of Ping Access, you can now publish them through Azure AD and protect them through Azure AD. So this is something that makes what I said reality: single sign-on, secure remote access to almost any application out there in the cloud and on premises. Let's go now to the second scenario. The first scenario, as I said, was the core one, right? Secure and seamless and easy access to all the applications your users love. But what about you? How we can make your life easier when you try to provide this easy access? How we can make your life, your time better for you, meaning better use of your time, and how we can make from hiring to make all the applications available to a user a really short process. So this is what the second scenario is about, and this is why you use Azure Active Directory. Imagine that scenario where you hire someone, and the HR person adds the record of this employee to the HR application, Workday, for example, in the cloud, and from that moment, connectors of Azure Active Directory bring that record into Azure Active Directory, into Active Directory on premises if you need, and at the same time, with our provisioning engine, with our dynamic groups, this user, from the moment he's hired to the moment he sees all the applications you want in front of him, is a matter of hours instead of days or weeks. So this is the second scenario I want you to remember. Seamless, the process of hiring someone to give him access to applications has become really, really short with Azure Active Directory. And what the user sees at the end of the day, from the moment that his record is taken from the HR application and is moved to Active Directory and Azure Active Directory, and as a result, with the use of our dynamic groups to various groups that give him access to applications, is this screen, this single screen that we call My Apps or Access Panel. And through this screen, he's able to access right away in a matter of hours all the applications you want him to access. For most of them, we provide provisioning, or you can just simply assign them. And of course, it's at least the web version of these applications, but he can have access to the web version of these applications right away. So he opens just one screen in front of him, myapps.microsoft.com or myappsyourcompany.com, and he sees all the applications that you have signed to him like that. And he can manage groups and other things that we will see in our demo. And with that, Alex, back to you for the third scenario.
All right. So Nasus has talked to you about kind of the two main use cases you probably think about using Azure AD for, which is how do I manage my employees and automate both their access and single sign-on to applications, but also the kind of the joiner, leaver, mover process. I want to tell you about some of the increasing use cases we're seeing, though, where people are using Azure AD to extend out across their virtual enterprise and how they connect with their customers and their partners doing that. So the first one is Azure AD B2B. So this is a capability inside of Azure AD now. It's just gone GA about, I don't know, 120 days ago, something like that. And you can now invite users who are in other Microsoft tenants or with a Microsoft account to come into your directory. You get a shadow copy of them in your directory, and then you can do all the same things you could with employees. You can put them into dynamic groups. You can assign them to applications. You can run, soon you'll be able, in fact, I'll tell you in a minute, you can run access campaigns against them. Like all the things that you would want to do with a normal employee's record, you can now do with a partner's record. However, you don't have to manage that identity, right? It's all managed in the foreign tenant. And as I was saying, given that 90% of the Fortune 500 and many, many millions of companies now have Azure Active Directories, you would probably be surprised how many of your partners you will just find already have a well-managed tenant and can interoperate with you. So that's been really big. And in fact, we now have 8 million what we call guest users, but those are essentially users that have been invited through B2B who are now collaborating with their partners through Azure Active Directory. And then, they're just being assigned out to the same applications that our customers use for their employees. So you can get access to SharePoint, you can get access to Box or Salesforce.com or any of those applications using this approach. But what I'm happy to let you know is that very soon we're going to turn on support for other third-party IDPs as well. So within about a month or so, you'll see us turn on support for Google IDs. So people can just log in using their Google ID, and then we will quickly turn on a whole bunch of other ones. This is a high demand item because almost every large enterprise in the world has some small customers they work with who use Google as their email account or who have some other ID that they want to be able to use. And this way you don't have to get them to use a new ID. They can just log in using what they already use. So I'm really excited about this, and you'll see it turn on very, very soon. Now, B2C is a very different case, right? In the Azure AD B2C, you could think of as a white label version of the service. And this is when you want to provide a highly branded experience, probably to an end consumer, right? So that maybe they're buying things from you directly on the web, or there's some kind of frequent buyer or frequent mileage program or something like that that you want them enrolled in, right? But this is the kind of thing you would do for that. And what it lets you do is outsource all of the pain of essentially running a cloud identity service to us. We'll do all the interconnections with all of the consumer IDPs you might want to let people log in with. We'll take care of all the self-service provisioning, and so users can come in and set up their accounts and all those things for you, but it looks like your app. It doesn't look like a Microsoft thing. And so let me just walk you through, like this is just an example screen, but you can completely take over the user experience and make it look just like your app. It could be an Android app, it could be an iOS app, it could be a browser app, it could be a Windows Universal app. Right? And so the branding looks just like you. You get all this kind of user-friendly self-service sign-in and set up so user can come in and whatever set of credentials or whatever set of information you want to collect from them, you can. They can use all of these different social IDs, Google IDs or Microsoft accounts or Facebook IDs, or if you need to get to Chinese customers, their Weibo or WeChat IDs, whatever it happens to be that you need for those customers to be able to log in. You can also collect essentially any kind of detailed metadata that you want, and you can choose when to do it using what we call custom flows, custom user journeys. And a custom user journey lets you at different times ask users to provide you with more information, so that as you deepen the relationship with the user, you can request more and more information from them that helps you provide a better and better experience. And then, of course, all of the self-service capabilities you would want so that you don't have to pick up the phone, right? Like self-service password reset, the ability to come in and change their address, update their phone number, all those kinds of things. We just make that all available for you as a service. And then, you can outsource that whole headache to us and know that we're running it in our worldwide data centers with the right encryption and behind locked cages that are monitored 24 hours a day, and not have to have that nightmare to deal with yourself. And hopefully not turn into the next Target or Experian or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Nasos now, and he's got a couple of demos of these three scenarios we've been talking about.
Thank you, Alex. I want you to remember also that for every feature we cover here, there is a really detailed session after the next days. So if you like B2C, you can go to the B2C session. If you like pass-through authentication, we have a dedicated session on that. So everything we cover here has a really detailed session in the next few days. So for the first demo, I will just set the stage. We have just the productivity part. So nothing super exciting from security perspective at this first demo. But this is your everyday job. This is what you love more on Azure Active Directory based on the usage. Single sign-on, as I said, easy access to applications. So what you see here is the access panel, as I was telling you. You see a user, he logs into myapps.microsoft.com or to any URL that you have with your company, and a name, and he enters here, or she enters here. Then, with a click on these tiles, they can go to any application they like. Like, for example, they can go to their email. And in this scenario, I don't have any fancy conditional access or MFA or protection, because as I said, I just want to show the productivity part. So as you saw here, this user has around 24 applications, I believe. And these applications were assigned to him by his administrator probably the time that he was hired. As I said, you remember HR application, you bring in the record to Azure AD, then with the flows we have provisioning or assignment to groups and dynamic groups, this user gets a number of applications. But that's not the only way you can add applications. For example, our user here, if she goes to her email, she can see a mail from her manager, welcomes her to the new team, and the manager says, please join this group. So by a simple link on an email, she can go to that place that she can see the groups or the group that she needs to access. And from this group, she will be able to, from this screen, she will be able to join the group. So let's say, she will say, I want to join the group. I'm new. And either we have a workflow of approval, or like in this case, the request will be auto-approved. The auto-approval flow, you can imagine, goes to her manager with an alert, with an email, and the manager will approve that this user, this specific user, can be a part of this group. So you will see in a while, it takes less than a minute in most cases, that these 24 applications will become many more just by adding this user to a group, okay? So anytime now, you will see more applications. Let me refresh that. And here you are. No, you are not. Oh, here you are now. So you saw from 24 applications, we went up to 30-something with just joining a group. That's most probably the fastest way to provision applications to a user and make him productive. Now, our user can go to Salesforce, can go to all these new apps right away with single sign-on. So this is something you do and you know. However, this user, if she goes to the groups tab, she sees the groups that she's a member of, but also she sees the groups that she owns. So for example, if she goes to this demo group, she can see the users that are already joined in this group. And as you can see, it's herself, Alvin from the organization, but as you can see a different icon there with my Hotmail account. This is because this user has invited me with my Hotmail account to join this group, and because he invited me to join this group, I have access now to a number of applications that are related to this group. So for example, the user who owns this group can add whoever user here in this screen, sorry. My mouse went crazy. So let's say I want to invite Rob from another organization. We are at Contoso Build, and this guy is at tailspintravelbuild.com. It's an organization, not a Gmail or a Hotmail, but it's an organization among those millions that have already Office 365 and Azure Active Directory. So as you can see, this user is recognized with that icon that he's an external user, and by adding him here and add a message, he will receive an email asking him to connect. Let's see how this thing looks. I have done that already before. So this is the other user, Rob at Tailspin. He gets an invitation from Contoso that looks like that, with the customized message that the user just sent him, or the administrator can massively invite and customize them a message. And when he clicks Get Started here, let's see what happens. With that Get Started, he will access the access panel, the My Apps of Contoso. So you see here, he logs in to the Contoso organization by clicking just an email, the invitation. Now this guy will be able to collaborate with our user Aphrodite and work with Salesforce, work with SharePoint, or Teams, because he was just invited through our B2B collaboration process. How cool is this, right? It's really cool. You can clap. Thank you, guys. That wasn't a really great clap, though. Okay? When I go to the new announcements at security, I expect much more. Okay? Thank you. So let me go back to my user and the access panel of our user in Contoso. And you can see here that I have many applications that you recognize, cloud applications, and I have one on-premises applications. If I click that application, you have to believe me for now that it's on-premises, of course. You will see that with single sign-on, without being prompted for another password, I was able to access an application that is stored on a website on premises. And because I know many of you don't believe me, actually, I will go to my RDP session. You see, this is a remote desktop to a specific virtual machine we have on Azure. And as you can see, through our partnership with Ping Access, with the Ping Access tool in this server, I was able to publish this application. This specific application is using header-based authentication, so it's a custom application. That's why I used Ping Access with application proxy. And as you can see, this local application, you see here that says localhost, hopefully. I have the same experience when I access this application in the cloud. And if I go to my user, you will see the header-based authentication also here. So we covered access to cloud applications. We covered access to on-premise applications. I want you to remember, though, that with the announcements we made yesterday about the new remote desktop services, you saw the announcement yesterday? The remote desktop services now support Azure Active Directory sign-in. So you can publish even non-web applications through remote desktop and use Azure Active Directory authentication. So we cover the cloud. We cover on-premise web apps and RDP. Better. That was so much better. And with that, we go to the next scenario. The next scenario is the favorite scenario of most of you and us. We fought with Alex, who is going to present it. I won. So it's it's the security one. It's the protection one. I know that is really important for you. I understand how important it is, and we are really proud for the advancements and the new announcements we will make today on this fourth scenario. So this fourth scenario is about identity protection. How you can protect access to applications from advanced threats. Not just simple, secure access, and please trust us, we are secure. We are talking about advanced threats and advanced protection. We have our conditional access engine there for you to provide security based on your needs for different applications, different users, and different factors all the time. But let's go closer and look closer to this scenario and see what's new today, what are the announcements today, and also why we are extremely proud, about our unique capability to protect you with our conditional access. The uniqueness of this solution comes mainly from what you see in the screen, from our intelligent security graph. I'm pretty sure you have seen that slide again, or you have heard that concept, but let me explain it one more time. The intelligent security graph, it's a graph, a network of things that we can do for you because of the unique position that Microsoft is right now. So first of all, by using the experience we get by all the global services we have around the world, from the consumer spaces, from Xbox, from Outlook.com, from Skype, from Azure AD, we have a huge experience. As Joyce said yesterday, 100 million attacks every day, attempts, right? I mean, we got most of these guys. 100 million attacks every day to the consumer space, Skype, Xbox, and all these things. You cannot even imagine how many people try to play for free. You understand that, right? I mean, Xbox gets tons of attacks. However, we use these attacks, and we get experience from that. And we share this experience with you. So we gather all these signals from all these attacks. We have specific teams in our digital crime unit and the Defense Operations Center that work every day to identify all the bots or the malware out there so we can identify possibly infected devices. We have a report available to you that you can see all the IPs that access your services and have been reported as affected in the past. So possibly affected right now, but still is a great source of information. At the same time, we go out there and we get all these lists of all these announcements that hackers made that 1 million accounts were stolen from there, 10 million accounts were stolen from there, and we match them with your database. And if we see one of your customers, we'll let you know, one of your users. So from academia, from researchers, from law enforcement agencies, from our agencies, and from our worldwide cloud services, we gather all the signals in one machine learning, and we process them. And with this process, we come up with a risk score. A risk score for every one of you, for every user you have in Azure Active Directory, and for every session this user is in. But let's see this process. Let's see this engine. So, as we said, every time a user comes to an Azure Active Directory protected application, we have our conditional access there. Our, let's say, static conditional access, where you can use factors like who the user is, which device is coming from, it's managed, not managed, which location he's in, is a corporate location, an unknown location, or which application he accesses. So different policies for Salesforce, different policies from SharePoint. It depends on your needs. So these are the static rules. You are using them a lot. But what we are extremely proud, as I said, is what I just described. This information comes down to 10 terabytes of data every day. And these data are coming to our machine learning. And as I said, we do one thing. We calculate the risk for all your users and all the interactions these users have with your applications, and we give you a score, low, medium, high. And now, besides the static rules, as I call them, meaning, OK, if you are coming from the location you are out, you can have rules based on risk. And this is in real time. We have a real-time evaluation engine that every time tells you the risk score. So if the risk score of a user changes, the behavior of Azure Active Directory will change against him. So he might be able to log into an application now, and in 1 hour, if his risk score goes up, he will be blocked. This is real protection. This is the protection we are really proud of. Now, what we do with this information is that we give you controls. We give you the control to block access if you want, or of course allow access. And we give you the control to require multi-factor authentication, or to force password reset. But something I want to share with you and make an announcement today is the limited access. Now we have made available the ability to allow someone to go in, but with limited access to this application. And we do that natively for SharePoint. So you can now go to SharePoint and say, OK, I will let Nasos in, but I'm not sure it was him. So because of his risk score, because of the location he's coming in, let him read, but don't let him download. So we are not just protection at the front door. We have eyes on your users, even when we're in the room. Right? This is what you really need. So if someone that seems to be good at the front door turns bad during the session, we are there to protect you. And the announcement is that we don't do that just for SharePoint. With integration with Cloud App Security, we provide limited session control to other applications. So we are announcing today that we are integrated with Cloud App Security, Microsoft CASB, to provide in-session limited access to applications other than just SharePoint. You can clap now. Thank you. Thank you. I know it was spontaneous. And of course, we can protect all kinds of applications, right? Remember, every time you connect an application with Azure AD, on-prem or cloud, it gets that protection. Now, let me go to the MFA part and share with you something really great, another announcement. With MFA, we had one offer until now. We were able to tell you that, of course, you can use MFA, a great MFA, our MFA, right? Azure Multi-Factor Authentication. That was the only option available through conditional access. We heard a lot of feedback from you, so I'm really proud to announce today that from this week, you get to use more than just Azure MFA. These 3 great partners, RSA, Duo, and Trusona, can be used for MFA on top of Azure Active Directory conditional access. How cool is this? And you know, the way it works, as I said, it works through conditional access. You can use all of them together. So if you have many different companies and many different users that some of them already have Duo and some of them have RSA or Trusona, you can use all the systems together. You can choose in one policy to use all the rules together or some of them for a specific set of users. So you don't have to choose just one. And you most probably know all these guys, but let me tell a few words about them. I mean, RSA is definitely a leader in multi-factor authentication. You know them, so if you have them already, you don't have to change the MFA provider just to use Azure Active Directory. You can use your investment in RSA. The same goes for Duo, a leader in second factor authentication with many customers, proven experience. And we have our friends from Trusona. Trusona also is a leader in the space, and actually they have a new approach of non-replay, meaning that when you use Trusona for multi-factor authentication, they have a unique way to make that second factor authentication. But I would say, let's wait for the demo to show you what Trusona does differently from us and from the other players. So third-party MFA providers that can be used through conditional access to protect your applications on top of Azure MFA. One other thing that we really take care, and we think it's really important to protect access to your applications, is your privileged users. So the administrators that you have, someone needs to, or you guys, someone needs to protect the company from you. And we do that too. So we provide a tool that is called Privileged Identity Management, and through that tool, we can monitor your administrators. We can tell you who these administrators are. You can choose if these administrators still need to be there or they can be eligible for administration, and that means just-in-time administration. So a user can become an administrator for a specific amount of time and then go back to being a normal user based on your needs. And while he's there, in order to elevate his privileges, he needs to use MFA. And as I said, not just Azure MFA anymore. You can use any MFA of our partners. Now, privileged identity management, until now, was available to Azure Active Directory administrators. The announcement today, which is the third announcement for the day, is that privileged identity management is expanding to Azure administrators. So all Azure administrators now, on top of existing Azure Active Directory administrators, can be controlled with privileged identity management and get just-in-time access when you want to provide secure access to your administrators for Azure resources. Who creates virtual machines? Who creates other resources on Azure? Yes, thank you.
So we're handing over. I want to just bridge back to what Nasa just said. If you take any takeaway from this session, like if there's anything you go do right away, please go turn on privileged access management and get your global administrators and your other high-privileged accounts out of permanent roles and get them into eligible. It's probably the single fastest thing you could do to improve your security posture, and it'll take you an hour. So please, take one go-do from me. Just go do that and get yourself better protected. It'll cost you $10 a month or something. It's even if you do nothing else out of here. Okay, so now I'm going to move on and close out the last two scenarios. The first is really about compliance, right? Particularly in a world of GDPR and increasing concerns about data privacy and data hacking and things like that. We hear from customers again and again that it is really important that you be able to know exactly which users have access to, are in which groups and have access to which applications so that you can meet all of your compliance and legal requirements. So the first thing I'm happy to tell you about is that today in public preview, we've just turned on the ability to do access reviews inside of Azure Active Directory against any of the groups that we manage. This is a really nice feature. You'll find that we've spent a ton of time on the user experience, and we're trying to make sure that whenever somebody gets asked to do a review, they get a lot of extra data, right? They get data about like, hey, this user is logging in frequently or not, when they're going to give us the result of the last review, they're going to give us, we're also working on how the machine learning system could even like hint to you, oh, this one really deserves a lot of attention and this one is normal, just let it go, right? So I'm excited to get this going. But if you need a full governance solution Right? Today we have a partnership with SailPoint, and this gives you all kinds of capabilities. I'll talk some more about those capabilities. If you want to be able to fully govern Azure Active Directory, SailPoint is a great option for that. But I'm happy to announce that, in fact, we've just now signed agreements with 2 new partners as well. So Amada, which is a really, really great solution that runs in Azure, a great European partner of ours, and then Savient, kind of a leading-edge cloud-only solution, right? Now both work with Azure Active Directory as well. So now you have a really wide variety of fully functioned, fully capable governance solutions that you can use to govern and make sure you're meeting your compliance requirements with Azure Active Directory. And you get a whole bunch of really cool capabilities with these.
And
right?
this is the 5th announcement of the day.
That's the 5th. There we go.
So you can clap again.
These give you the capabilities, first of all, to extend our password reset capabilities out to new endpoints. They give you much finer grain lifecycle and provisioning, the ability to do full access requests, and then policy-based workflows and approvals for those, and a whole bunch of additional auditing and compliance capabilities. So if you're looking for a full function, really rich governance solution, you can now use all 3 of these with Azure Active Directory. We hope that you'll engage with these partners. They're all here at the show. Some of them have booths, some of them are here in person. But if you need a governance solution, please check out these partners. They're doing really great work here. Some of the governance you can do, particularly against Azure roles, like the Azure RBAC system, is mind-blowing. Like you can get in and you can see down to the exact resource, who has access and what exact roles what exact capabilities they have against those resources. These guys are doing really, really nice, very detailed work for you. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to do that one again?
We're going to the demo about security.
Oh, cool.
The cool demo.
The cool demo.
So I'm going back to our users. You remember Aphrodite, the corporate user, and Rob, the guest user. So these guys now, something has changed for them. Either they're using a personal device, or their location is a little bit unknown to us, or they're using a device that it's not managed, or because they're trying to access an application. You will see that the behavior of Azure Active Directory now has changed a little bit. I'm not going to let them go just into an application without any control. And let me start with something that Alex just said previously, the access reviews announcement that we made available today. So what we do with access reviews is that every month, every week, every quarter, it's up to you. You can initiate 2 kinds of access reviews. You can request someone, like a manager, like an administrator, to go through all the users that use a specific application or are members of a specific group, and ask from this guy to go through it and say, do you still need them in this group? Do you still need them in this application? And this is super useful for partners, as you can imagine. So their sponsor, the guy that invited them, needs to see every month, every quarter, if these partners are still needed there. And at the same time, you can do that in a more personal way and send an access review to people and say, hey guys, do you still really need access to this app? You have 30 days to access it. So let's clean up the mess of accessing random applications and do your thing. So let's see how this works. Either through an email that I'm getting or through this link of access reviews, I can now go and check, access reviews. I can now see the 2 kinds of reviews. So if I click the first one, the first access review is what I told you, for my group. So Aphrodite owns a specific group, and the administrator prepares an access review for her, and she needs to go there and say if these 2 guys really need to have access to this group, to be members of this group or not. So he can deny access based on the recommendation, or say, no, let's keep them there, because let's say their contract ends in 3 months from now, so I want them in. The other access review, is the personal one. The personal one is the second one. It's about, let's say, Salesforce, the use of Salesforce. The admin says, hey, Aphrodite, do you really need access to Salesforce? We're trying to clean up usage. So now, not for your group, but you personally, tell us, do you want access or you don't want access? And please justify why you want that. So with these simple tools, you can clean up who has access to what and make sure that the right people keep having access. Now, let's go to conditional access. Thank you. Now, I'm trying to access Box, right? And when I'm trying to access Box, yes, I'm single sign-on. I have single sign-on. But as I said, something has changed for me. And this is the first time that I'm getting an MFA request from Tusona. Let me go to my phone. As you can see, I got a notification from Trusona. At the bottom of the screen, you can see I have Azure MFA, Duo MFA, RSA MFA, and Trusona MFA all together there. So I can use all of them or one of them based on my needs. And for now, I will open Trusona. And Trusona says, you have received a request. Right? You have received a request to prove that you are who you are, and it's a second factor. So I could just accept, as we do with Azure MFA, of course, and finish with that. But Trusona has something else. I will use a document, in this case, my identity. And I have registered my identity as the document of my authentication in this application. So I'm going to use it here. And the picture of this identity was taken, and it's recognized as a valid token. So now, normally, I will be in. Let me see. But no, someone takes the security of box really seriously in this company. So although I have proven my identity with Trusona, now they ask me to prove it one more time. Guys, this is real multi-factor, right? Because until now, you were seeing two-factor. Now this is multi-factor. And no, I don't have RSA after it. I said to stop here. So let me use Duo. So send me a push. Going back. You can see the notification from Duo, of course. I go to Duo, and I have a request. And as you can see, Duo works like Azure MFA and like the first part of Trusona, and I approve. The thing I did with Trusona, and let's see, am I in a box or not? Yes, I did it. So the thing that happened with Trusona is that they take a picture of another factor that you have, something that needs to have a barcode, for example, and they don't just get the picture and validate the barcode. They have a no replay feature that makes sure that the picture I just took, although it's a picture of the right ID, it's not similar with any other picture I have sent to them. So if someone gets a picture of your identity and tries to replay that and send it all the time as a second factor, it will fail. Because Trusona system makes sure that if someone sends the same picture twice, then definitely he's a fraud. Because every picture needs to be unique, needs to be taken the moment that it's requested. So Duo people, RSA people, Trusona people are all over the place here, I believe. So they can come on stage when we finish and you can ask them. Also, some of them have booths, or they will be around our booth. So if you have any questions about these partnerships, please feel free. And the same goes for our governance partnerships, of course. Now, let's see something else. As I said, we still have the other forms of conditional access, OK? Not just the risk. So for example, if someone wants to access a sensitive on-premise application here, and the location is not right or something else, he gets that message. This message says that your sign-in is good. I just don't like your location. Your location is not a corporate one, or something I consider trusted. So the user, because he's coming from this IP, he's not trusted, and he cannot access this sensitive on-premise application. And the same way, if I try to access, let's say, I think ServiceNow is protected again. If I try to access ServiceNow, I'm getting another message that says, this is a really great message. It says, you cannot get there from here. And it means from this device, right? I don't allow you to go in because I don't like the management of your device right now. Your device is not compliant. Your device is not domain joined. So you need to change that if you want to access ServiceNow from this specific location or this specific device. And let's go back now to our guest to make another announcement. So let's see our guest. You remember our guest, right? So I will make a couple of announcements during this demo. This guy sees all the applications, but his invitation was about Salesforce. So let's see what happens if he tries to access Salesforce. So now, normally, he will expect to sign into Salesforce and start collaborating with Aphrodite on some stuff. But look at that. A new enhancement of conditional access is here. We announced that this week, too, and it's called terms of use. This is a custom control of conditional access. What you can do with that, you can imagine. For the applications that you want, and for the group of users you want, you can have a completely custom proof of terms of use for them. And in order, come on, no one reads that. So you can have a completely customized terms of use that can change based on group. And by accepting just once, I'm not going to prompt again. And after that, this guest is good to go. Let me tell you something I shared also yesterday, and I believe it's a really strong capability of this feature. When you have terms of use, you can do something, let's say, the day that GDPR will start, or the day that something really significant change in the policies of your company. You can create a terms of use and enforce it, and everyone that is logged in your system at this point will be blocked. And he has to go through this process of approval of terms of use to continue. So, as I said, use this carefully and responsibly, right? Because it will lock you out, too. So imagine the admin enforcing the policy and be surprised. Don't be surprised. If you enforce a policy that says everyone in this company has to go through the terms of use, it's really significant, you can do that. So use that carefully. Don't click the checkbox lightly. And now, one of the other announcements we have already made, because this guy is a guest user, and he went through the terms of use, of course, that doesn't mean we trust him. This reminds him that his Salesforce session is monitored throughout his activities, and now Cloud App Security, Microsoft CASB system, is there to check what he's doing. So when this guy clicks continue, now that he knows that he's monitored, and after the terms of use, he will be in Salesforce. He's in Salesforce, he can now collaborate with his pals here. So you can see, I can take a document that Aphrodite has shared with me. You see the preview here. But there's a document down here that seems really great, and he wants to download it on his device. So when he clicks download and tries to open it, you see that instead of the document, I get the TXT, and I get this notification. This notification is what I said. You can be there. You can open some documents. You can check, you can collaborate, you can chat through Salesforce. But if you try to access something that you shouldn't, if you try to do something like download it locally, you will be monitored, and conditional access will make sure you cannot do that. How cool is this, guys? This is really rare power. So I was blocked, really bad. Let me see something else. This user goes back to his emails, and he sees something that, let's say, a document that he's supposed to have. I mean, it's his document. It's an Azure Information Protection document, but it's his. I mean, he owns that document. So he tries to download that. I mean, you didn't let me download the other. I'll download this one. And that's fine. It says, do you want to open the document? Yes, I want to open the document. So check out another announcement that we will do today. This is integration of conditional access with Azure Information Protection. So now, our user, in order to open a document, any document that is stored on Box, that it's stored on email, that it's in his pocket in a USB drive, when he tries to access it, we can now enforce the conditional access rules to this access. So for a simple document, not an application, I will check your location, I will check your device status, I will check your risk score, and based on all this, I will decide if you will open it. So let's see what happens here. It's a really difficult name. Tailspin, travel, build.net. We could come with a more difficult, but we said to stop here. So yes, this guy was recognized, the password. And let's see. The password was wrong. Nice.
The problem with being an identity person.
Nice. And look at that. I was prompt, because they didn't like my location, probably, I was prompt for an Azure MFA. I thought to use Azure MFA, so you remember that we have our MFA too. So in this case, OK, you can believe me, it's just a phone call. I'm receiving a phone call that says, hey, Nasos, if it's you, or Rob, if it's you, press your PIN or pound to get in. But it says something also really great that Azure MFA has. It says, if it's not you, make sure to press 0 pound to lock your account. Because this is an additional capability that Azure MFA has, and we tend to forget it. So now, after going through Azure MFA, I'm able to access this document, right? So this is integration of Azure Information Protection with the conditional access engine. And look at that. Look at the permissions. I own the document. Yes, thank you. I own the document. So yes, I had full control. That doesn't mean that the system will let me open it if it says that my status, my risk score, my location is not good enough. So full control even over documents now. And I want to show you a little bit of the admin experience here. And this is the console, the magic console that you can do everything that you want. Let's see, this is the policy I can set. I have to choose, of course, the group of users that will be affected of this policy. As you can see here, I have a dynamic group, and this dynamic group is all the guest users. So all the users outside of your organization automatically will be affected by this conditional access policy. I can choose all the applications I need to affect with this policy. In this case, I chose the Azure Information Protection protected documents, Office 365, on-premises applications, and Salesforce. And the conditions can be the sign-in risk, as I said, the device platform. You remember 1 month ago we announced support for macOS, so you can see I have listed macOS there as an enforced device. And let me make one more announcement today, guys. In the location area, besides the location rules we used to have, where you had to just choose between, you had to define IPs, now we give you the ability to choose from countries. So you can say, thank you. Of course, it's still based on IPs, but it's easier for you to say that I want all the IPs of US, I want all the IPs of Greece, I want all the IPs of Europe to be included or excluded from this policy. So this is one more announcement. I have lost count, Alex. I don't know if you keep it.
9, 10, somewhere up in there.
And of course, these are the client applications. And then on the controls, as I said, remember the controls require multi-factor authentication, manage device, join device, approved client app. So this is something that we are also announcing, which is the ability to enforce conditional access policies for mobile application management. And also the third-party MFA providers. You remember, you can have all of them picked, none of them, together or not together, or any of them. Terms of use, all these conditions are now available to you. And finally, the limited session. Here you can either choose to limit SharePoint or use Cloud App Security. And this is the console of Cloud App Security, our CASB system. You can go to the policies and see what the policies are. For example, here we say that if the device is not managed, if I don't like the document, if the document is docx or sensitive, whatever, do an action. And finally, the other thing I wanted to show you is that we don't just only have conditional access based on risk. We have a really great monitor that shows all the users at risk, all the sessions at risk, and also if your configuration is at risk. And one huge risk is that if not all your admins have MFA, or if not your users have MFA, please enforce MFA. And you see now MFA is not that intrusive. You can have them only when you use them, only when you need it. So please enable MFA. It's like wearing your seatbelt, right? The airbags will kill you if you don't wear your seatbelt. The super secure systems we have will be useless if the user is not enabled for MFA. Please enforce MFA. And with that, we go back to you, Alex.
All right. Remarkably, it appears we are right on time also. The last one, and Nasus didn't want to do this one, is, hey, you're a developer. You want to write applications that can use your corporate identities and integrate with all of these compliance and security policies that Nasus was just showing you. We've worked really hard to make this super easy. The first thing to recognize is that all of the ways you can access Azure Active Directory are based on open standards, right? And this is the weird thing for the Microsoft guy, right? But there is no API available that doesn't go through one of these sets of open standards. It's either using OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect, or SAML, or SCIM, or the Microsoft Graph, right? Like any one of those you can use to talk to Azure Active Directory. There aren't any others, right? And we're really very serious about this. For instance, our developer libraries, it's not only that they only talk these open protocols, they're all open source and available on GitHub, right? So you can go out, you can see all the code, you can download it, you can use it how you want, you can suggest changes. It is a totally cool open source approach. In fact, we have really strong contributors in all of our major libraries that are helping us out, and we really appreciate that. And then all of this, of course, fronts the Microsoft Graph, right? So you've heard a ton about the graph already, and you'll hear way more. Like as a company, we are really excited about the capabilities of the graph. But the graph, again, is all standards-based, right? Like it's just get and put, and you get back JSON, and it's all OData 4 compliant. So any kind of application on any platform, right? So, you want to write an iOS app, an Android app, you want to write a JScript app, you want to write a PHP app, you want to write a Java app, they all can interoperate with the directory. There's no need to be on one of our platforms anymore because we know the cloud is inherently heterogeneous. And the graph is probably the best example of this, right? Like the graph is essentially a single RESTful API, right? It lets you get, with correct permissions, of course, get to all of the information you might want about a user and all of the things they do with Microsoft, right? So you can find me in the directory, and then from there you can find my mailbox, and you can find my OneDrive, and you can find my calendar, and you can see the people I work with, and you can see the documents that I'm collaborating on them with. You can find where my skip address and endpoint is, like anything that an application wants to know about me as a user, of course, with the right controls and privacy and all that, you can enable and get to from any platform. And it's really simple, right? Like it's all just done using RESTful approaches. So like if I want to find a user's profile, I just get it, right? And what I get back is a set of JSON, if I could get it to click, and you can read it and see for yourself what this is, right? It's super simple. I can get the photo, right? And I just get back a stream of the JPEG. I want to get their, who the manager is. I just keep traversing, and I can find who their manager is. Right? I want to find who works for them, right? It's all just in this simple graph namespace. Everything comes back as JSON. Every major app platform in the world knows how to parse JSON and give you a nice object now that you can use with the rest of your app. I can even do things like find out what groups you're a member of, like everything you could want to get to inside of a directory, but also across the whole Microsoft set of cloud services, particularly Office 365. You can do in this really nice RESTful programming model now. And it's a great way, and I think that's part of the reason why we've seen such a takeoff in the number of applications that interoperate with the directory, is because we've taken this very RESTful, similar approach using open standards across all of the Microsoft cloud services. So I hope as you go home, if you're a developer, you'll crack open Visual Studio or whatever dev tool you use and take a look at the capabilities here. It really does open up an incredible world of powerful opportunities. And particularly if you're an Azure developer, man, you really want to know about this because this is the new platform for interoperating with Microsoft services for the next 20 years. So with that, we finished. We've gone through all of the different use cases.
We did it.
We want to thank you for your time. We've got about 6 minutes left, so I'm going to turn over to Nasos to talk about some customers.
Great. And let's close, and hopefully we will have time for questions. If you want, come to the mics if you have any questions. As you can see, and as we said, we have 56,000 of enterprise mobility and security or Azure AD Premium customers already. Many of them have kind enough to give us a case study that is out there. You can go and read it on customersmicrosoft.com. I want you also to remember what are the next steps. OK, I like that. Now, if it's the first time that you're seeing Azure Active Directory, my question is, seriously? I mean, seriously, it's the first time we're seeing Azure Active Directory? But if that's the case, we have an amazing trial. But if you are in the process of buying, or you have it already and it's not installed, or you need to expand the capabilities, we are here for you. We have two options. We have Fast Track, that through our partner network and our engineers remotely, they can assist you with tools, they can assist you with advice, they can take you through the steps you need to install Azure Active Directory and Azure Active Directory Premium and EMS as quickly as possible and have some quick wins that will make you the hero of the organization. And of course, if you have complex environments, if you have huge implementations and you need more than just Fast Track, we have an amazing team in our production, in our product group. We call it Get to Production. So it's a really amazing team, really amazing, right? And this team now can help you and come to you and have a dedicated engineer to take you through the steps you need to access. And
we should mention they're all here in the booth,
yes,
and solving problems. You got a problem today? Take your PC down there, and they will help you get it working.
If you cannot ask the questions today, I mean, either later, come to our booth. The whole Get to Production team is there for you. And as I said, for every little feature we presented today, every new announcement, it's a more detailed session out there. Thank you. We can take a few questions, but thank you so much. Thank you, because I'm seeing people are leaving. Thank you so much. Please, sir.
I just had a quick. Oh,
Can we open the mic?
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
I just had a quick question about Azure AD Connect. Is there any plans? I've seen user voice articles and things about it, but to remove the requirement for an on-premise Exchange server when you're syncing from Active Directory up to Azure AD?
Yeah, so the team is working on that right now so that if you have an on-premise Exchange server and you fully migrated to the cloud, then we're working to add capability to turn off that on-premise Exchange server and remove the dependency. It'll probably take us, I don't know, 4 or 5 more months to get it out, but that it's definitely in the plan and will be worked on.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sir, over there.
Hi, I was wondering, I know some third-party MFA providers can protect against RDP sessions and console sessions, but if you're starting fresh, is there any plans coming for Azure MFA to handle that directly?
To handle the RDP sessions?
Yeah, natively without the RDS gateway, and then also just straight console, MFA on the console.
We don't have any plans for MFA on the console. The RDP team did announce this week that the individual workload services plus the gateway now support Azure MFA, Azure AD, and Azure MFA.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for doing the pass-through, by the way. That's great. Do you have a lot of use cases where you do the B2B, where Microsoft Azure Active Directory is the IDP, but then, say, for example, a website is hosted
we cannot hear you.
on site?
Sorry.
Hold on.
Can you come closer?
Can you turn him up? Can you turn him up?
I can talk louder.
There, yeah, talk louder. That'll help. There we go.
Do you have a lot of use cases where you have the B2B and Microsoft is the IDP in Azure Active Directory, but then you have, for example, a website on-prem for companies like mine that aren't doing Azure infrastructure yet?
So B2B between cloud Azure Active Directory and on-premise Active Directory.
Yeah, an on-prem site, yeah.
Yeah. So if the on-premise application is token-based, that works great. If the on-premise application requires that the local user be in the directory, that does not work today. Right. And we're working on fixing that, but I don't think you'll see it until spring.
Okay. But we could do OpenID. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, you flip back through on the slides. The Wednesday slide, you flip through like that. Can you just show it up again?
You have the application on your phone, right? I mean, come on.
There we go. Any other questions?
Other questions? Sir, over there, you have a question? No.
Oh, yeah. Way over there, yes.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Hey, are there any plans to support nested groups for assigning apps in Azure AD? That's been a big barrier for us to adoption in our organization.
Can you explain the scenario? I'm not sure I understand.
Nested groups.
So we have groups within groups. So say you have a group for a city that rolls up to maybe a group for a country, and we have a bunch of users in that. We want to assign apps to that country group.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, why don't you stand up?
Come here.
Keith Brinsonoff would love to talk to you.
Please come closer.
Come on over.
So yeah, dynamic groups, I guess, is the answer for now?
The answer is his team is working on the requirements for how we're going to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.